And one thing that I personally like Buddhism, the Buddha's teachings, or in other words, I like Buddha, is because of the Buddha's practicality. This is something which, since my childhood, when I was age 14, 13, 14, 15, say, and there is some element of, I don't know, skepticism. I don't know whether you call it skepticism or questioning mind. I think that's better. Skepticism is a very strong word. I've questioning mind when I was 14, 15 years old. So being exposed to the physics, I learned how to ask questions, how, why, and so forth. Then I started to ask this question too about Buddhism to the people around me, the elders, and many of them could not give the adequate answer. So I was really disappointed. But it doesn't mean that I just outrightly reject Buddhism. Doesn't make any sense. So there's a questioning mind there. I'll be happy to ask questions. If somebody cannot give the answer, it doesn't matter. So still I inquire other scholars, other teachers. And then luckily, in my case, the Tibetan teacher, Venerable Geshe, he's just, I'm so lucky to have met him. He's so thorough, so trained in philosophy, psychology, logic, and then any question that I ask, the answers that he gave me, they are extremely fulfilling. That's amazing. I'm very fortunate. So from this, I see that what the Buddha taught, and then gradually being exposed to these studies myself, the one thing that made me so happy about the Buddha is that he is extremely practical. Extremely practical. So one thing that I'd like to share with you was that, I don't know whether I shared this in this group. When I was in Cambridge, I met a physicist. I shared this with you. And then who said that in this world, yes, yeah, in this world only physics is education. And then I cited Buddha's quote, and he said Buddha must have been a great physicist. You getting it? So this is the practicality, the practical aspect of the Buddha's teaching. So in other words, what I'm saying is that we're trying to look for the correlations of our miseries, how the miseries arise, right? For the problems, there are two cures. One is the symptomatic cure, and the other one is the cure from the root. There are two. And those people who only look for the symptomatic cure, these are unwise. Whereas those people who look for the root and cut the problem, these are the wise people. So we all have the capacity to become wise. Don't think that, okay, I'm an unwise person, wise person, there must be somebody different there, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We all have the capacity to be qualified as wise, provided we take steps, study, reflection, meditation, to inquire what are the causes and identify the root, get rid of the problem. This is how we become wise. Okay, so the two ways of solving the problems. The problems that we have, one is the symptomatic treatment, which means that if you have a headache, we'll give you Tylenol oil or the paracetamol and so forth, painkillers. And some people say, okay, I see that you are having this headache the last 3 days. It's not just one day. And the 3 days, we have to have a more thorough checkup, which means that identify the real source of the problem. So with this, the point is that our miseries can be rooted to they're somehow because of the contaminant karmas, which in turn is because of the afflictions, which in turn is because of the inappropriate tension. So we can say that, for example, this is amazing. This singing bowl, the sound is amazing. Tiny, but the sound is just amazing. Isn't it? It's amazing. It appears so objectively real. The sound appears so objectively real. They say, are convinced with this point. Seeing things objectively real, not like a dream, objectively real, then the exaggeration, it leaves room for exaggeration of the qualities. If it's coming from your mind, if you know that it's coming from your mind, then you will not exaggerate the qualities. You agree with me? Good. So it leaves room for the exaggeration qualities. With exaggeration, then what happens? Nice. Then what happens? Mind is pulled by it. Not nice. Mind is pushed by it. This is known as involuntary pull and push. Involuntary pull and push is lack of freedom. This is affliction. So involuntary pull and push. This is known as the affliction, because affliction is defined as the mental factor, presence of which disturbs the mind. Involuntary pull and push is disturbance. You don't want involuntary. You don't want to move involuntarily. You want the freedom. Involuntary means loss of freedom. Loss of freedom. So with this, involuntary pull and push connotes the presence of the mental factor, presence which disturbs your mind. And disturbance of your mind, this is affliction. So with affliction, involuntary push, then what happens? Then the action will go to possess it. Involuntary push, action will go to push it or to run away from this. So that is action. Action of contaminant karmas. So with the contaminant karmas, then giving rise to the results. Yes, many of the results is very obvious. Unnecessary problems that we get into, right? That we get into because of the insensitive, the conversations, talking something, they saying something without any sense of discretion, right? And then the other person feels offended, and the person doesn't talk to you, and then you feel so suffocated to see the person not talking to you. This is all self-creation. You're getting it? So we see that many of the effects of the karma, undesirable effects of the karma, we can see that. Visibly we can see that. So we see, in other words, this what Arya Nagarjuna taught, which was originally taught by the Bodhicitta Muni. Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagado hyevatat. So from this, the 5 points which Arya Nagarjuna enumerated, see how efficacious they are. And then relate this with the 5 mental factors, omnipresent mental factors: contact, attention, discrimination, feeling, intention. So if you see all these things together, it's not necessary that you should be Buddhist. These are all the realities of what's going in your mind. For example, like we talk about E equals MC square. It's a reality. This is, and they taught by Einstein. It doesn't mean that we have to become Einsteinism, right? We don't have to follow Einsteinism. Or we enjoyed pizza, we don't have to become Italian, right? We can enjoy pizza. What's wrong with that? So likewise, know these things. Look at your mind, how the mind works. It doesn't require that you should become a Buddhist. Know this, apply this, and then remove your mental defilements and become a better person, happier person. Spread happiness in your family, right? And the spread the sensitivity. They make people to have a deeper sense of understanding, right? You respect others' religions. This is amazing. So they find it doesn't matter what religion that you're following, what religion that you're following, it doesn't matter. The point is that you should be a happier person. You should know how to be happy. And spread this happiness first in the family, right? You should know how to talk nicely to your mother. First, begin from there. Charity begins at home. Learn how to talk nicely to your mother. Don't shout. Stop shouting. And instead of the old mother serving you, you serve the mother. Learn these things. Then you see the real happiness. You become so rich in happiness. Then you spread this happiness in the home and then spread everywhere. So this is how these information, they are so precious for us. Okay. So with this, then you see emptiness. With emptiness, then see how the mind reacts. Usually we say, okay, I should not be doing this. Okay, it's the office hour, I should not be drinking alcohol, right? Okay, maybe weekend, once in a while, but in the office hours, you should not be doing this. You get it? So So there, in a way, we're pushing ourselves, we're forcing ourselves. I should not be doing this. These are good. These are good. But the real dharma should happen with a sense of joy, joyfully doing it. How to joyfully doing this is by seeing the demerits. When you see the demerits, then your mind, when it engages in the particular activity, there's a joy there. There's a sense of purpose, a joy there. So this is so precious. Okay. And then knowing emptiness, say usually we have a sense of affinity for cheesecake. And then the thing about the emptiness, you really is emptiness so many layers. We talked about the 5 levels of emptiness. Then you just get a glimpse of the real emptiness. Just see how the mind reacts to the cheesecake. How the mind reacts. You don't have to force your mind to detach from the cheesecake. No need to force. If you see emptiness, if you don't see emptiness, sometimes you have to force. This is also known as to check the power of your resilience. Resilience means tolerating. The word tolerating. Tolerate means that you're forcing. In a way, you're forcing, right? I don't want to forgive. Okay, but I'm tolerating today, which means that you're resisting yourself. There's some kind of resilience. The part of the resilience. Resilience is a connotation, not really joyful, right? But if you do joyfully, that's so beautiful. So with the wisdom emptiness, just see how the mind operates. The mind will automatically withdraw from the involuntary pull and push. Automatically. Involuntary pull and push automatically stops. You don't have to push your mind. You don't force your mind. So when it happens so automatically, you don't have to force. It's so beautiful. So the point is that we have to try to see if we get some understanding emptiness. Once you get it, then see how your mind reacts to the object. Seeing emptiness, then see how the mind reacts. It automatically stops reacting. Not by, hey, don't react. You don't have to instruct. You don't have to force it. No, you're about to, you're about to react now. Don't react. Don't react. Don't react. No, you don't have to say this. It automatically stops reacting. It's so beautiful. This is how we stop the contaminated karmas. Okay. So with this, page 10, verse 52. Page 10, verse 52. In those whose minds possess a locus meaning a center of attention to see things objectively. There's something objectively there as a center of attention. Locus. In those whose minds possess a locus, why would the grave poison of afflictions, the poison of the snakes of the afflictions, not arise? Okay. As for those who abide in between is neutral, not attractive, not the unattractive, in between. That is neutral. And for those who abide in neutral, they too will be caught by the snake of afflictions. Okay, is there anybody who can explain this, who would like to explain these 2 lines? As for those who abide in between or neutral, they too will be caught by the snake of afflictions. Anyone who likes to explain this? I guess you will try.
I think you can explain it. He has to give the answer.
Say it again, Ajirji.
He answered this particular.
Mike. So actually, we all have the expert on this, right? These 2 lines, yeah. There's an expert here. And so let's listen to the expert.
No, he gave a very precise answer.
This is what I'm saying. So let's listen to the expert now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, like yesterday when you asked this question, when you're...
No, I just explained these 2 lines.
Like being neutral doesn't mean you're seeing it as objectively empty. you can still see it as objectively real while being neutral. So even then the afflictions can arise.
Can you give an example? Say like in dream, right? In the dream, let's say. In the
Yeah.
dream,
In the
say, the first moment you get a cheesecake. And second moment, the cat jumps on it, right? First moment, you're so attached, very desirable experience. Second moment, the cat jumps on it, very undesirable. And the third moment, okay, now you have no cheesecake, the cat ran away, so you can't do anything, right? Okay, now your mind is more like neutral. Neutral, still there's affliction. How?
Because you're still in the dream, you haven't woken
So
up.
what's the problem?
So you're still
Seeing
seeing it
the-
as an objective
Seeing
real.
the dream as real.
Real.
Seeing the dream is real. Although neutral, seeing the neutral feeling as real, objective real. Good. So that itself is ignorance, and ignorance is the mastermind of all the afflictions. Ignorance is the mastermind of all the afflictions. Good. Okay. 53. Just as a child that thinks it to be real feels attached to a reflection of a form. So let's say that how many you've seen rainbow in your life resents? Okay, maybe I should ask the other way. How many have never seen rainbow in your life? How many you have never seen rainbow in your life? Everybody's seen. Good. Okay. Say that you are seeing rainbow 1 kilometer away from you. You are seeing rainbow there, hitting a mountain or hitting a house 1 kilometer away from you. And there's a small child with you, just age 4 or 5. And the child tells you, please take me there. Take me there meaning, take me where? Take me to the place where the rainbow hits. Will you take the child there? You will not. You will not. Micah? Not sure. Yes. So, look, if you take the child there, you're also a small child. Micah is also a small child. You getting it? Okay, if you take there, why the child is asking you to take the child there, where the rainbow hits, where? Why? Hey, Myung, tell me why. Yes, thank you. So you will not take her there. If you take there, if anybody takes there, that person is also a small child. Yes, Micah is a small child.
If you take the child to let the child experience that the rainbow is not really there, isn't that a beautiful thing to do?
That is the most beautiful. It's not only beautiful, it's the most beautiful. But you are taking there thinking that there's a real, I play with this small child with the rainbow. This is what he thought. Right? Otherwise, if you want to teach her a lesson that it doesn't really exist, that's amazing. This is so precious. So in a way, you're introducing the child to emptiness concept. Amazing. Oh, you good. So what is said here is 53. Just as a child that thinks it is real, it to be real, feels attached to the reflection of form or a rainbow. Likewise, and the example of the 500 monkeys drowned to save the moon in the water is because of seeing the reflection of the moon as real. Likewise, because the worldly beings are ignorant, they are trapped in the cage of objects. Trapped in the cage of objects meaning trapped in the belief that things exist objectively. And gradually, I would say, thus far what we've been saying is that the trapped in the belief that things exist objectively. You're getting it? So gradually, just see if you can take Arya Nagarjuna's words verbatim. At the moment, it is like interpreting all the time objectively. We're adding this word objectively, objective all the time. Gradually, once you get some clue of what emptiness is, once you get it, till that point, don't try to interpret it literally. If you interpret too literally, you will fall into nihilism. Whereas once you get a glimpse of emptiness, then you can see that these actually mean literally. It doesn't mean that nothing exists. You're getting it? So therefore, if nothing exists, then we can take it literally right from the beginning. Why should we have to wait till we get the experience emptiness? So what I'm saying is that for us, we can easily slide to nihilism if you interpret this too literally. Once you experience emptiness, then you read it, that instead of saying it objectively, inherently, intrinsically, you adding this, just read it, and what the feel that you get is so profound at that point, not now. At the moment, if you take it too literally, you could fall into nihilism. Okay, so this just I'd like to share with you that later on, once you get of course that requires being very consistent with the studies of emptiness. And today there are so many places where said good institutions are there. There are many places. It's not just Tibet House. There are many places there where the emptiness, these concepts are taught very systematically, right? You can, and then another thing that I would suggest is that if there is a possibility for you to have some connection with some learned people, like Geshes, Khenpos, and so forth, learned people, and who are compassionate, would be happy to entertain questions. If you can correlate with such people, that would be that would be a great asset for you, for your spiritual journey. Okay. Figure 4. The great beings see with the wisdom eye all things like a reflection of forms. They don't see things object real. Instead, they see as subjectively existent, like reflections of forms. They do not become stuck in the mire of so-called objects. They don't see them as object real. As I said earlier, when you see the emptiness of object reality, the mind automatically rests from the involuntary pull and push. Involuntary pull and push automatically stops. Okay. Figure 5. The childish are attached to, all what we studied thus far is like more summarized here by this passage. The childish are attached to forms. The moderate attains detachment. By knowing the nature of forms, those of supreme intellect are free from samsara. Okay, this is a beautiful summary. The childish are attached to forms. Okay, let's see, do you agree with me that the beings can be grouped into two? Those who see the emptiness of objective existence and those who believe things are object real. So we can group all the beings, human beings, animals, insects, even the tiny ants, rats, whatever. Everyone, anybody who has the feeling that sense of I, can be grouped into two groups. Those who see things as empty of object reality versus those who see things as object real and believe that things are object real. Two groups. Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Don't talk about those. What about those people who are in a coma state? Right? Okay. So these, keep them aside. Even this person is not like born as a coma, die as a coma. No. So born with some sense of I. Anybody who has sense of I can be grouped in these two categories. So now, within the two categories, the first, who believe that things are object real, within this we see that again there are two groups. One who predominantly, who disregard law of karma, and who just goes into indulgence, into money, power, and so forth, just negative karma, who engage in negative karma. Number one. And number two, no, I should be nice to other people. I should not do bad things. This is against our conscience. You may not believe in God, Buddha, whatever, but you believe in a basic human goodness. No, I should not. At least I should be a decent person. I shouldn't create a problem in the world. The second category. You getting it? So the first person engaging in negative karmas. Negative karma simply into indulgence. Indulgence meaning it says that childish are attached to forms, attached. Indulgence because of the attachment, purely because of attachment. It doesn't mean that the second category, they have no attachment. No. The fact that we're in samsara means we have some form of attachment. Attachment binds us in samsara. But the mind is not fully into attachment, seeing that this is not okay, there should be some moderation there. I need food. Of course, we attach to food. I need food, but I should not go to too extreme to just look for money, power, anything that gives me money, whatever means. Money, I'll do that. Whatever things get me the pleasure, I'll do that. So this is total indulgence. So this all because of attachment. This will tend to make the individual to accumulate so much of negative karmas, and the result is suffering of suffering. Suffering of suffering, right? Okay, how many of you don't know this? How many of you have never heard this technical term, suffering of suffering? Suffering of suffering. How many of you have not heard this word, technical term, suffering of suffering? Okay, good. So we will discuss on this. Number one. In other words, evident suffering. All forms of undesirable feelings of suffering. This is known as suffering of suffering. Then there's another category who are very decent, so who don't believe in any religion, but who are very decent, extremely decent, compassionate, humanitarian sense of, profound sense of the humanitarian, approach. Again, there's another class. These people tend to engage, they see things as object real. They're not exposed to the emptiness concept. They see things as object real, but say, oh, this is objectively bad. I should not be doing this. Otherwise, this can objectively create problem. Oh, this good thing, generosity, so people will be benefited. I like to contribute to the people who are doing good things. So objectively doing good things, objectively people are benefited. So they say seeing things object real, but engages in virtues all the time. But within for example, like in dream. In dream, some people can be extremely indulgent in the dream. Then some people in the dream also, they are being very, very compassionate. Some people believing that the dream is real. Oh, this person is suffering, this dog is suffering, I should help. In the dream you help. So in the dream they're helping somebody in the dream. Is that virtuous virtuous or not? That is virtue. No doubt. Your mind is thinking this virtue, but is that tainted by the belief? Is that tainted by ignorance or not? Believing the dream is real, that is ignorance. So this virtue is tainted by ignorance. Because of this known as contaminated virtues. Even the virtues can be contaminated. Say, don't do those who are total what is that? Atheist, who don't believe in any religion, right? But who believe in basic human goodness. Very compassionate. Very compassionate. So those people, they engage in virtues. They engage in goodnesses. So the point is that they don't see things as empty of objective reality. They see 24 hours, 24/7, they see things as objective real. But in this creation of objectivity by their mind ignorance, within that, then they engage in virtues. So that is number two. The moderate attains detachment. Detachment meaning that they run away from indulgence. They're detached from indulgence. They're detached from indulgence. But still they see things as objective real. So seeing things objective real, what creates objective reality in their view? Self-grasping ignorance. So self-grasping ignorance is the real embodiment of samsara. Self-grasping ignorance is the real If somebody would ask you, what is samsara? Samsara is the embodiment created by self-grasping ignorance. This is the best. So, As long as self-grasping, your mind is just dictated or say the influenced by self-grasping ignorance, this is the creation, this is samsara. Now, number 3, line 3, 55, line 3. By knowing the nature of forms, the true nature of the forms, that forms are nothing but the projected by my mind, those of supreme intellect, these are the beings with the supreme intellect, they are free from samsara. You're getting this beautiful summary. One verse is a huge summary. Okay, 56. One becomes attached to something by thinking of it as pleasant. So, okay, is there anybody who can connect these two lines with what we've learned thus far? The verses, concepts, whatever we learned thus far. Anyone who will connect these two lines? The one on the 56, one becomes attached to something by thinking of it as pleasant. Anyone who likes to correlate with what we have learned before? Myo? Seeing things objectively real, then the sense of the pleasant, unpleasant is created. With this, then the attachment comes. Involuntary pull happens. Good, thank you. Over there, Anna. Yes. Yes. Pleasant. Good. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, now they say the Myung and Anna, right? The expert. Okay, so how you first have a sense of, let's say the cheesecake, right, as objectively real. So the information, contact and attention. Oh, what is this? You say you first come in contact with the cheesecake, and you pay attention to this, and the information that you get from the past, all this to yesterday, you go just back till no beginning. We see that, oh, is object real? Is object real? Yes, it is object real, right? So one time there was maybe I was 20 years old in IBD Institute, but I started this, and there was one monk from Singapore. So now you remember? There's the one monk who I met in Singapore. Who I requested Venla to connect with. Connect with meaning that to reconnect. We were together since 30, almost 35 years ago. Okay, his Tibetan name is Tensi Gyaltsang. And then so we were together. That was 35 years ago when all these young boys, girls were not born. IGG was not born, right? Yeah. So at that time, my teacher, Venerable Geshe Rinpoche, he's just amazing. And you meet him. Some of you meet him. You may think that, no, I cannot even go close to him. You're getting it? Almost like 80% of the students, his students, they don't dare to go close by him. He looks very tough. You're getting it? But deep inside is extremely high level compassion. It's not like intense compassion. Of course, intense compassion, extremely sophisticated compassion. It is amazing. So, anybody who he senses he's very smart, he's a big logician, a philosopher. And anybody who senses that the person newcomers to Dharamsala, nowhere to go, and he will somehow make sure that they are, even individuals are taken care of. And this monk from Singapore, he came by and then get lost, and then he said, "Hey, what for have you come to Dharamsala?" "Just to explore Dharamsala." "Where is it?" "I have no clue." "Come, stay here." And then my teacher, he put him as my roommate, temporary roommate, because he is here for maybe for like 1 or 2 months. And he was also studying a little bit about emptiness and so forth, and I was just totally new. Of course, learned about emptiness in words when I was in school. And then one day, Dharamsala, right? Sherry Pema, how many of you are from Dharamsala? Raise hands. Right? Omar, Kate, Sherry Pema, 3. That's it. Okay. Anna, you're from Dharamsala? Okay. So, monsoon season, what is it like? Monsoon season, right? Say rain, fall, very foggy, no sun, everywhere wet. And once in a while, if there's beautiful sun, if there's one, then some schools, they declare it's holiday, sunshine holiday. You're getting it? And one day, what happened was that it was very foggy, weeks and weeks foggy, and the rooms, they become damp, and the clothes, they stink, clothes they don't dry. And one day it was beautiful sunny day, and my roommate meaning the Singaporean monk, I think he must be in his 30s, because he was already a school teacher. And then he opened the window and he said that, look just listen what he said. He opened the window and he said that, how can we say that this beautiful sunshine is not intrinsically real? You're getting it? It's so intrinsically real. Who can say that this is not intrinsically real? You're getting it? Okay. So when you see something strikingly attractive, strikingly beautiful, and strikingly delicious, like cheesecake, fresh cheesecake, right? Then that seems so intrinsically real. Okay. So first, you come in contact, pay attention, cheesecake, yes. Discrimination, yes, this is cheesecake. Is it delicious? Yes, it's a very fresh, delicious cheesecake. You're getting it? Okay. Then what happens is that the feeling, what feeling you get? Anna, very pleasant feeling. So it says, one becomes attached to something by thinking of it as pleasant. You get a very pleasant feeling. And then the intention, because you like the pleasant feeling, your intention will embrace it. This embracing, involuntary embracing to this pleasant feeling triggered by the external cheesecake, that is known as the attachment, right? So, the one becomes attached to something by thinking of it as pleasant. By turning away from it doesn't mean that, oh, this is very bad, I shouldn't go to indulgence, just forcing yourself. No. See that this empty of objective reality, this is all just coming from mind, right? Objective is totally empty, to the extent that particularly you see something extremely desirable, you see emptiness, the effect of the emptiness will be even more striking, meaning that goosebumps on the body, tickling sensations, cold waves flowing from the body, extremely tranquil feeling. In some cases, a tinge of fear can also come. You see the contrast between how the object appeared to you and what you realize. There's such contrast that there's a clash between the chronic belief and the new understanding inside. There's the friction there clash. Because this clash is manifested in the form of a tinge of fear. And if you practice more, then this wisdom, new understanding will gradually overpower our chronic belief. Then the chronic belief will become less intense. At that point, this fear will be replaced by intense, very profound joy, which we have never experienced before. Okay, this is how it works. So this is what the meaning of by turning away from it. So where is so pleasant, then you just involuntarily pull there. And then they say, to see that there's nothing really that pulls me. It's just coming from my mind. There's not really there. Then the mind gains freedom from being involuntarily pulled. So it gets freedom. This is the turning away. So by turning away from it, one becomes devoid of attachment. 27. The faults of mental afflictions that torment due to false knowledge do not arise to those who understand the meaning of conceptualization of real and unreal entities. That real, unreal, good, bad, they're all conceptualizations, subjective conceptualizations. Objectively, they're empty. Whoever sees that, all these faults of the mental afflictions which torment torment us otherwise will not arise. So that is the freedom. Freedom from likes and the dislikes. Freedom from the likes and the dislikes. Freedom from the real and unreal. To see both real and unreal as pure mental conceptualization. 58. So in other words, if you look at 55, childish are attached to forms. The forms, the people say that this attachment given rise to miseries. Miseries is what we dislike, indicated by the first line of 55. The moderate attains detachment. By detached, you'll be freed from the suffering, right? So the first one is what you like, what you dislike. I dislike the suffering because of the attachment. I dislike suffering. Second one is because that I detach from the attachment, I get what I like. My miseries will go away. Meaning that, for example, suffering will go away. So this is what I like. And then the one who sees emptiness of both will be liberated from samsara. You're getting it? Okay. Anybody can you see a painting here somewhere? Painting with the caption, Wheel of Life. Just quickly see, where's this painting? There's a painting in this book with the caption, Wheel of Life. Anyone else? Not experts. I'm not asking the experts. There are a few experts there. Right? Okay, John, tell me. 3 to 8. Let's see, 3 to 8. Okay, Wheel of Life, the painting. So, tell me, what is in the demon is holding what? The demon is holding what? The demon is holding the wheel, right? Okay. Don't judge the samsara, because the newcomers will be, will be overwhelmed. Wow, how did they know samsara, right? So I just see wheel there. What is that? Right? Okay, they will feel discouraged. How come that they are, I'm so basic. I don't understand anything. They're just looking at you. This is samsara, right? Okay, so they let us be compassionate towards the newcomers. Okay, so what we see is there's a wheel there. This wheel is held by the demons in the demon's mouth. So if you are in the demon's mouth, if you are in the lion's mouth, finish, right? You're going to die. So the demon's mouth symbolizes the impermanence of death, meaning that as long as you are in the wheel, you're going to die. As long as you're in the wheel, you're going to die. Okay, that's very this very what? Painful, and is very what? Dragging me, pulling me down, feeling me so low, right? No, you don't feel low. Get out of the demon's mouth, right? Do you see anybody who's out of the demon's mouth? Huh? Do you see anybody in the painting? Huh? The Buddha there, you got it? So Buddha is not that the Buddha is lucky, right? We the unlucky ones. No, we can become Buddhas. We can become Buddhas. You getting it? If you don't want to be in the demon's mouth, get out. Get out of. So what the wheel, this wheel symbolizes samsara, because that is in the demon's mouth. Demons, being in the demon's mouth is not desirable. This is painful. That is samsara. And if you don't want to be in the demon's mouth, get out of this. That is freedom from the demon's mouth, freedom from samsara. That is nirvana. Okay, so now if you study the wheel so well, you see just tell me what is in the innermost wheel. What do you see there in the innermost wheel? Okay, by the way, okay. I need to make this note. Oh yes. In the painting, you have the. I look for a very good paint. This is all dependent origination. I deliberately looked for a very good painting. We did a Photoshop to make sure that the painting is correct, everything done, and finally printing, right? Printing, we give it to somebody, and the person just printed like this, and then the color is so faint. This is not the real color. Even the paintings are not totally here. So we need to, the Tibetan version, the same book. Is there anybody, you do have this book with you? Okay, just show that to me. 11111. Open it, quickly open. Okay, you will see that the Tibetan painting again. The painter did the same. The printer did the same thing. I said, no, it is Dasobola. I want it so professionally done. So finally, they attach something on this. It should be now better. Is it better? Show this to others. Okay, come closer, so that they can see that it's better than this. All right, and then you don't see it so good. Is it relative? You are seeing what conceptualization of inappropriate attention, right? They are still better than this. Okay, so what I'm saying, this painting need to be reprinted. Reprint required. Okay, what do you see in the innermost circle? I'm not asking the experts. There are some experts here, I know. Okay, what do you see? Mike? Okay, these three creatures, we see three creatures there. These three creatures symbolize the afflictions. Afflictions, if you remember, okay, on the afflictions, if you remember, the ceasing of common afflictions is nirvana. Common afflictions arise from common afflictions. You're getting it? Afflictions. Within this, that is a gross affliction. But here, what's depicted in the innermost, it includes both the subtle and the gross. Both. Subtle meaning inappropriate attention is the subtle affliction, and the self-grasping ignorance also subtle afflictions. So both are included there. And the three creatures, they symbolize the three poisonous afflictions: attachment, aversion, and ignorance. The bird indicating attachment, the snake indicating aversion, and the pig indicating ignorance. What do you see in the second circle? Yes. What is your name? The boy here. Tenzin? Within. This is within. Tell me, what do you see in the second circle? Louder. In English, Tibetan, whatever. In the second circle. Anyone else? Okay, let me ask. Okay, let me ask. John. John, what do you see in the second circle? Innermost circle, we see three creatures. In the second circle, what do you see? Okay, anybody, what do you see? Just quickly, what do you see in second circle? Yes, Tasnim Gill. Black and white, very good. Okay, don't look for the, what is that? Esoteric answers. Very sophisticated answers. Very simple. Why black and white? There must be reason. Right? Yes, black and white is there. Yeah, black and white. Good. That is a key point. Right? Don't look for esoteric. Oh, what is that? There's cow there. Which cow is that? From Brazil or from India or which cow? I'm not too sure. There's a person that looks a little. What is the background? Is he what? Laborer or no? Don't think like this. Just see white and black. Right? White and black. These two, they symbolize the karmas. These two symbolize the karmas. Afflictions give rise to karmas. Yes? We learned it? Misery is given rise to by contaminant karmas. Contaminant karmas are given rise to by the afflictions. So the innermost afflictions and second circle is the karma. And karma is white and black, meaning that the karmas of virtuous karmas can be non-virtuous karmas. That's it. Right? That's it. Virtuous and non-virtuous karma. Within, and even the two karmas are also within the demon's mouth. Yes? Yes? Even the karmas. For example, say the fact that what is a real demon? There's no external demon to, trap us in samsara. Our self-grasping ignorance is the demon which creates this whole samsara. Right? And say in the dreaming, the dreaming mind is the demon. Dreaming mind is the demon. In the dream. Dreaming mind is the demon. So dreaming mind creates pleasant dreams, non-pleasant dreams. Yes. Non-pleasant dreams, you feel angry. With the pleasant dreams, somebody is say meditating, somebody is generous, you rejoice, there is virtue. Even the virtue is tended by the belief that dream is real. You're getting that is contaminated karma. Contaminated virtues. And non-virtues are always contaminated. And virtues can be contaminated and non-contaminated. So virtues inside the demon's mouth, these are all contaminated virtues. Is there anybody who likes to explain to us why some virtues can be contaminated? In what way some virtues can be contaminated? Raise hands. In what way some virtues can be contaminated? Micah? Yes.
Because even in the good deeds, virtuous actions, you still believe that there is an objective reality of.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. So, the belief that things are objectively real, that is the contamination. Within the contamination, then you can do good things and bad things. So you do good things, this is known as virtuous karma, but with the belief in objective reality, this is known as contaminated virtues. Okay, good. So, now with this, don't forget, if you learn the Dharma so well, meaning this Buddhist philosophy so well, you see that all these are connected. But we are studying this is a very sophisticated text. This very sophisticated text, and I know that many of you must have felt a little lost, right? Okay, everything just passed by over my head, right? This is a very sophisticated text. And in fact, actually, as advised by Arya Nagarjuna, right, the best thing is for us to go very systematically, right? Step A, step B, step C, rather than jump to PhD directly. So this is like PhD directly, right? Okay, so then you may be wondering who chose the topic, Ajirji or yourself, right? So I chose it. And why did you choose it? This could be a question. Because that I've been coming here for all these many years. Maybe perhaps now the 20, 30, I don't know 30, but 20 something times. And yes, indicating that. Okay, don't let him continue the sentence. And don't let Ajirji to continue the sentence. Otherwise, he said that earlier you should come 2 And each time you come, 15 days, right? Okay.
This year,
To this year.
and it's like 50 days.
Okay, so so many times we did the Bodhicitta retreat here, and then because of this, the route institute is fine. Both where I'm going now, this is fine because this is a place where many people come. Many people they come, and not just precisely for this retreat, but they come for because that's the Buddha's place, the land of the enlightenment, and there are so many the pilgrimage sites there, and so people are there, and whereas the Tushita Dharamsala, that's also fine because His Holiness is there, everybody flocks in there, and then meanwhile they cannot have audience visitors every day, right? So other days they want to explore. They explore and they come to know about Tushita. So Bodhicitta, every year Bodhicitta is fine, it's not an issue. But Deer Park is one, Tursamdeng, and some of these centers, these are places where only if somebody knows something is happening, then they come. So every time there's only Bodhicitta, then many of those people who already came for the Bodhicitta retreat for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then they will not come. So the point is that so this place is a beautiful place that it should be of benefit for us, many people, and so for that matter, this is the need for the change in topics required. So this is how it came into existence. And one time we did this 70 and the emptinesses. Also we did it here. Okay. So we'll finish this verse.
The wheel of life,
Okay, yes.
verses which are given there.
Yes.
You know, most of the text they don't really put it.
Okay.
So could you really just explain what?
Okay. Okay, so in a way this is a good connection. The 3 to 8. I'll give you a quick overview of the this wheel of life. The quick overview. So one is that the whole wheel is in the mouth of the demon. Mouth of the demon depicting impermanence of death, meaning that just as anybody in the fangs of the demon, one is doomed to die. So likewise, we are in samsara, we are bound to die. This is the reality. Then the next one is that within this, it's not just simply just one wheel. The wheel, there are four wheels there. Innermost wheel depicting afflictions. Then the second circle depicting the contaminant karmas, contaminant virtuous karma, and the non-virtuous karma. A non-virtuous karma will give birth to the 3 lower realms. Okay, the third wheel depicting the results of this, the afflictions and the contaminant karmas results. So the 3 lower segments are the lower births or the lower stages of birth. The lowest one is hell realm, and to the left side is hungry ghost realm, and to the right side is the animal realm. These 3 are the lower realms where with the result of the non-virtuous karma, you will take birth in these 3 places. With the virtuous karma, you'll take birth in the 3 higher realms. If you look at it, you see that the top or center, that is the Deva, the God realm, and then to its left side is the human realm, to the right side is Asuras. Asuras meaning demigods. Okay, these 6 are known as the 6 realms. 6 realms. Okay, then the outermost circle. Anybody who likes to tell us? Okay, the boy before John. Your name? Shrikant, tell me. Say, in the outermost circle, what do you see? Just tell me, and you don't go into details. Just tell me something. What the first impression that you get out of the outermost circle? What do you get? Different activities are there. How many different activities are there? 12. Okay, good. These are known as the 12 links of dependent origination. So what is this outermost circle? Outermost circle is the explanation how the innermost circle is connected with the second circle, how the second circle is connected with the third circle. What is the innermost circle? What is the innermost circle? Afflictions. What is the second circle? Contaminant karmas. How the afflictions and the contaminant karmas, they give rise to the third circle. What is that? Suffering. 6 realms of suffering. Innermost circle, afflictions, how it gives rise to the second circle, contaminant karmas, how the contaminant karmas give rise to the suffering in the form of 6 realms. So what is the link? How they're connected? What is the mechanism? The mechanism is explained in great detail by these 12 links of dependent origination. You're getting it? And this I cannot explain it today. 12 links. It should be separate. These studies separately. And if you're really interested, you can read what is written here. This will give you a overall picture of the explanation of this. And if you still want to, I think there's Wheel of Life, the book by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. One book is there by His Holiness. You can read that. Then another book by Geshe Sonam Rinchen La. Geshe Sonam Rinchen, how many you know about Geshe Sonam Rinchen La? Yes, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Which means that is young generation, right? Brother TBO and all of us, we are young generation, right? So if you don't know Geshe Sonam Rinchen La, means you are the younger generation, right? Do you know Geshe Sonam Rinchen? Okay, what's the question? Okay, so that I'll tell you. Good. Okay. So Geshe Sonam Rinchen La, you note down his name. A brilliant scholar. A brilliant practitioner. I'm very fortunate that that he's one of the rare persons that I met in my life. I think he passed away how many years ago? 10, 15 years ago? 10, 15 years ago he passed away. Geshe Sonam Rinchen, S-O-N-A-M, Sonam La, Sonam Rinchen, R-I-N-C-H-E-N, Rinchen, Geshe Sonam Rinchen. He has many books. All these books are gems. I would say they don't read, the books in English. They say by any author. Make sure that your mind don't taint it, particularly the Buddhist philosophy. Simply because there's a book there doesn't mean it's a good book. You're getting it? You must read the good authors. So, the Geshe Sonam Rinchen, of course, he did not speak English. It's all Tibetan, and his scholarship is brilliant. And he's an incredibly great practitioner, extremely great practitioner. And I personally would say that, wow, I'm very fortunate that I was in IBD just maybe the 2nd or 3rd year, and sitting for the exam with the nervousness, tension there, and Geshe-la came there as the examiner, sitting right above me on a higher seat, and there's a gap. Today, if he survives, if he's alive today, he must be, I think, 80s, 90s. And there's a gap of like 40 years, 30 or 40 years between two of us. And just a young boy, come from school, right? And he was already an acclaimed Geshe. And so many students all over the world. And he came there as an examiner of the IBD, the annual exam, giving marks to the monks debating. And I happened to sit next to him. Oh, I'm very fortunate. And he would talk to me like two friends. I could see his warmth. I just felt that, oh, he's an extremely renowned Geshe. He may be on reserve. Who are you? Right? I thought that this was my impression that he would have this thought. No. When I was there, he was just talking to me like, so like we are some, two small the friends, two little children who are like friends. There's so much warmth there. I was so impressed. Wow. That's amazing. So, what Ajit is saying is that he did not speak English, but he is an amazingly great translator. One lady, Israeli lady, Ruth, and her name is Ruth Sonam. Ruth, she's a brilliant translator. And how did I know that she's a brilliant translator? I don't take people so easily, but I don't outright reject them also. So I always maintain neutral till I know that the person is really good. I don't follow, oh, he's good, oh, he's my, no, this is not my attitude. So how I came to know that she's extremely brilliant translator was that when I was translating for His Holiness, I was looking for, His Holiness was going to give a teaching on 400 verses by Bodhicitta Arya Deva. I think where His Holiness going to give, I think in Switzerland. So I was preparing, I was looking for one English translation because I cannot translate, it's a huge book and within a short span of time. So I was looking for the available translation, and somebody brought me one translation by a PhD student who did work on this book. And I thought that I was as naive as many of the people today. Oh, it's a translation, so it's already there, I'm lucky. I don't have to work on this. And then before the teaching, maybe 1 week before teaching, I was just casually going through this to see the accuracy. It's a disaster. Totally inaccurate translation. I just discarded it. Then I was asking for any other translation. And then I came to know that translation by Ruth Sonam, the lady, Israeli lady, the translated form, Venerable Geshe Sonam Chenla. That book was available. Then I was very apprehensive because of the first bad experience. Then I looked at it and I did not have time. So what I did was that I picked up one verse from 400 verses by Bodhicitta Arya Deva, which is a very tricky verse, right? Only if the person understands the meaning so well, can translate very beautifully. Otherwise, you can easily go into this or this, right? I just checked this. How the translation was done. I checked the very, very complicated part. I checked it and I was so amazed. This translator really understood the concept. I was so impressed. And then without looking at the remaining, I said, this is the translation I'm going to use. So she's a brilliant translator. Amazing. Okay. So going back to the main point. So there's the 12 links of dependent origination. And then if you don't want to be in samsara, in the wheel, in the fangs of the demon, impermanence of death, we have to exit out of this. How to exit out of this? What do you see? What the Buddha is doing? Hey, tell me, Domala, tell me, what is the Buddha doing? She's already, the expert. I can see that. Okay. Micah, tell me. Yes, Buddha pointed to the moon, right? So if you don't want to be in samsara, right, then the Buddha is saying that, then be like that moon. What is that moon? The moon is symbolic of your mind. And the moon can take different forms. Full moon, crescent moon. The moon can take different forms. Yes, you agree? Manidipa, you agree? The moon can take different forms, right? So what is this moon? Crescent moon or full moon? It's a full moon, meaning that the moon freed of the dark part. Likewise, the mind, our minds, symbolized by the moon, your mind should be freed of your mental defilements. Make your mind as fully undefiled as the full moon, there. So the full moon depicted the truth of the cessation of your mental defilements, truth of the cessation of suffering, right? Okay. And then what is below the moon? What do you see below the moon? Some verses, 2 verses are there. So these 2 verses, you see that the is depicted is just depicted there under the moon, and then we can read that, so we put it below the wheel, which is visible, but that is in Tibetan. It should be in English actually. Once we did, so this is a problem. I already did in English. We already put it in English. Again, the print comes. Next print comes. Again, the people, they put back the original thing. Yeah, this is a problem. Okay. Okay, so the two verses, how to make your mind pure, how to make your mind free of the defilements is depicted by the means by which to do so is, of the Four Noble Truths, was the first truth? Truth of suffering. What's the second truth? Truth of cause of suffering. What is the third truth? Truth of the cessation of suffering, which is depicted by the moon. The moon depicts the truth of the cessation of suffering. How to stop the suffering. What is the fourth noble truth? Truth of the path leading to cessation. What path, following which path will make your mind pure of all the defilements. So these 2 verses depict the path which will take you to the cessation of suffering. So these 2 verses, you see that it is in this commentary in the book, page 333. Page 333, the 2 verses are there, and that too, don't think that these 2 verses will do everything. These 2 verses are symbolic. So these 2 verses are in a way like a key to show us that we have to look for all the vast area of studies, psychology, philosophy, and so forth. The 2 verses said, strive to eliminate the defilements, enter into the teachings of the Enlightened One. Just as I live in the midst of us, destroy the host of the Lord of Death. Those with conscientiousness meaning that I should not be doing bad, otherwise he will take me to miseries. I should be doing good because I want happiness. Those people having this sense of discretion, what the right thing to be adopted and bad to be discarded. These people should engage in the dharma of pacification. Pacify your mind of the mental defilements. Abandon the cycle of birth. To remove your mental defilements and the cycle of birth in samsara. Birth in samsara, stop it. How to stop it? Exit out of samsara. Abandon the cycle of birth and bring an end to the miseries. So these 2 verses are symbolic of the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Okay, so we have that thing. Yes. Not Mahayana, this was taught by the Buddha directly to the Bimbisara and the Uttayana. Yeah. Yes. Say it again. Yes, nirvana, yes. Okay, so basically the point is that this is a teaching which can be understood on various levels. Those people who seek personal liberation, just nirvana, for them this is just perfect teaching on nirvana. Those who seek Buddhahood, the moon depicts not only removal of the afflictive obscurations, but also the cognitive obscurations. Then Buddhahood comes into play. Okay, now let me first let me say, okay. I say, season of karma's afflictions is nirvana. What is nirvana? Depicted by the moon. Nirvana. Now I'm Arya Nagarjuna's verse applying to here. And then this moon, opposite moon is samsara, depicted by the wheel. You getting it? Opposite of nirvana is samsara, depicted by the wheel. So the samsara is triggered by, according to Arya Nagarjuna's verse, hey, samsara is triggered by contaminated karmas depicted by the second circle, the white and black part, and the contaminated karmas triggered by afflictions, innermost circle. You're getting it? So the misery is depicted by the whole wheel, but within the wheel, more precisely, the third wheel. Third wheel from the inner, the third wheel, that is some resultant state of samsara, given rise to then go inner. Samsara, third wheel, given rise to by the immediate inner contaminated karmas depicted by the white and black. And then that contaminated karma given rise to by the afflictions by the innermost, right? And then how do we see these links? Say third wheel connected to the second wheel, connected to the first wheel. This link, causal connection, is in great detail explained by the fourth wheel. You getting it? Okay. So with this, what we have is that the Four Noble Truths, truth of suffering, say first that are you in nirvana or suffering, misery? Are you in nirvana or samsara? There's some people who think that, oh, I'm in nirvana, right? Okay, we're in samsara. So, if you're in samsara, there must be a reason for samsara. There's a cause of samsara. So, samsara is the effect, and there should be a cause of samsara. These two are the one set of cause and effect. Samsara and its cause. Samsara meaning suffering. Suffering and its cause. So, the first truth is suffering. Second truth is cause of suffering. This is what we are. How we live. If you don't want this, then we have to get out of samsara. What is that? Nirvana. Stop your miseries. Stop your suffering. That is number 3. Truth of the cessation of suffering. Number 3. And even to get to cessation, there must be a reason. You have to put effort. What effort is required to be put? Number 4. What is the 4th? The truth of the path leading to the cessation. What is that path? The path to see emptiness. You getting it? The wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so this is it. So with this, we see that the truth of suffering is depicted by the third circle. Truth of suffering is depicted by the third circle. Okay, now we will look at the Four Noble Truths. Truth of suffering is depicted by the third circle. 6 realms. Then the second, what is the second truth? Truth of cause of suffering depicted by the 2 inner circles. Innermost circle and second, affliction and the contaminated karmas. These 2. Okay. So, first truth, truth of suffering, truth of cause of suffering, done. Now, if you don't want the truth of suffering, what should we do? Get out of suffering. What is that? Truth of cessation of suffering depicted by the moon. Truth of cessation of suffering depicted by the moon. And how to attain this state of the cessation like the full moon? Follow the 2 verses depicting the truth of the path leading to cessation, the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, this is the Four Noble Truths. And with respect to what Jigmela said, this painting, is it that the Buddha himself wrote this painting, or what is the story behind this? This is a question. The story behind this will be very interesting. And then what Ajirji said is that the 2 verses, many of the paintings they do not have the 2 verses, many of the paintings they do not even have the moon, right? Okay, so which should I do first, the story or the why the moon and so forth? Second one, which is the moon and the letters. Okay, so for this, the thing is that this was actually commissioned by the Buddha himself. Okay, first there's no choice. We have to go to the story first. That what happened was that at the time of Buddha, there were 2 kings. Many kings were there. but they related to this painting, there are two kings. One, a king of a bigger kingdom, and one, a king of a smaller kingdom. Smaller kingdom, today is, what is the Magadh. Magadh was the smaller kingdom, where whose king was King Bimbisara, and Buddha was staying there in that kingdom, not in the palace, of course, in the forest, within the kingdom of Magadh. King Bimbisara's, under King Bimbisara's the kingship. And the other king, King King Uttarayana, the two kings, and the King Uttarayana was ruling a huge kingdom, and he, as a friendship, the bigger king sent a gift to King Bimbisara. King Uttarayana sent a gift to King Bimbisara. What is the gift? Give us an extreme expensive armor. Expensive armor made of gems. Very expensive. Would you be happy? Not happy? I'm very happy. So King Bimbisara was very happy, but you keep receiving, or you have to also give back. You have to give back. So he was from a smaller kingdom. He does not have anything expensive like this to give. So he was so sad. What to do now? He was so sad. What to do? He could not think of anything. Now I feel so embarrassed not to give back anything, and I don't have anything as expensive as this one. Then the matter was reported to the Buddha, because the Buddha was residing in his kingdom. And the Buddha said, don't worry, you send me one of the best painters to me. And the painter was sent, Ejimila, a painter was sent to the Buddha. And then the Buddha instructed the painter to paint this. Right? The Buddha did not paint it himself. You getting it? So the painter painted it. And after this, then the Buddha asked the king, you now offer this as a gift from your side, King Uttarayana. And King Bimbisara was so happy. He draped this painting with, say, 5 different colored, the cloths, extremely expensive cloths. Then he sent a message to King Uttarayana that you should come to this field, which otherwise used to be a battlefield, right? Come to this place, and he did not ask to what for. He did not say what for. He said, just come there with all the soldiers, your army, cavalry, all with whatever they bring during a war, during the fight. And the King Uttarayana was extremely angry, upset. I'm the king of the bigger empire, and I'm trying to make him happy, and he's now trying to think of waging war against me. He's calling me for war. He was so angry, upset. There was one very smart minister of this king, King Uttarayana. And the minister says, Your Highness, you don't have to be angry, you don't have to be upset. If he wants war with you, you can easily defeat him. So just listen to what he has to say. We go there with whatever way he asks us to do, we do that. And then if he's actually for war, just defeat him, conquer him. And the king was relaxed. He did. And then on the battlefield, King Bimbisara also brought his cavalry, soldiers, army, everything there. At a certain point, King Bimbisara got off his horse, got off his chariot, along with 1 or 2 ministers, and nothing. They know the indication of war. And King Uttarayana was very happy. He also got off. Out of gesture of respect, he also got off. Then he commanded 2 or 3 ministers to join him. And then King Bimbisara offered this in the scroll, in the draped with the clothes, offered to King Bimbisara, King Udriyan, saying that this is my gift for you. And I invited you to, with all these, the very glamorous, the reception, to show respect to this gift. And King Udriyan was so not puzzled, not confused, positive, not amazed, curious. He was so curious. What could this be? Right? So, going back to his palace, he opened it. He's draped with 5 very expensive cloths. Very expensive. Given such a respect to what is inside. And then he was even more curious. What is inside? Finally, he saw just some painting. And then he placed it on the table. He was studying this. He was doing, what is this painting? Out of like a small child, just observe what this painting is. So why this is so important? And then the very smart minister was also next to him. And look at studying the painting. Then who's that guy up there? What do you see on the top right? The Buddha. And who's that guy up there? And the minister said, don't say guy. He is the fully awakened one. What do you mean awakened one? He has already left the world. He has transcended the world. Where is he? He is with in King Bimbisara's kingdom. What is he doing there? He's benefiting the people. He's benefiting the people, giving teachings, giving, say, the peace of mind, happiness, giving them the wisdom, compassion. Why is he staying there? Because the King Bimbisara is a great devotee of this, what is Bhagavan, the enlightened one. Oh, can I also invite him to my place, to my kingdom? You have to seek the permission of King Bimbisara. Now King Bimbisara becomes very important, right? Okay, so this is the anecdote. So with this, then at one point, the Buddha instructed that this painting should be painted on the wall, the outside wall of the temples. And Buddha also instructed that that a scholarly monk should be appointed as somebody to explain this painting to the pilgrims who are coming to visit the temple. And the Buddha categorically mentioned that in the future, such learned teachers like Shariputra, Mukuliyana, they will gradually dissipate from the planet Earth. So there should be a tradition where these paintings continue to benefit the people. So there should be a tradition created that the learned scholar, monk scholar, should be appointed to always sit there next to the wall, the facade of the temple, to explain what this painting is all about. Okay, so this is the information about how this painting came into existence. Now the next is that this painting should be painted not by the philosopher. It should be painted by the painters. Painters may not be philosophers. You're getting it? And the painters, they see that up there's a moon. Why moon? Why not, why not Avalokiteshvara? Right? They remove the moon and then Avalokiteshvara is so good. Compassion, Buddha of compassion, and then remove the moon and place with the Avalokiteshvara. And then they are not philosophers, they don't know what is written there. So even what is written there, it's not really required. Why not we offer some fruits? Then they delete the two verses and replace it with some fruits. If you look at some of the paintings, you'll see that fruits down there. The 2 letters are missing. Moon is missing, Avalokiteshvara came there. You're getting it? This is because the painters may not necessarily be philosophers. This is a problem. You're getting it? Okay.